Good evening. It's from Center to Center, just back with you for another video. And today I want to talk about personality type. Now, I'm a fan of the Myers-Briggs personality scale, and I am an INFJ, which stands for introverted, intuitive, feeling, and judging, which means I have an uncanny ability to combine logic with emotions. You know, I'm a very sensitive person. I feel emotions very intensely. I'm very empathetic. Like, the emotional state of the people around me affects me very deeply. If you're in a bad mood and you're around me, I'm going to be in a bad mood because I'm going to be feeling your emotions with you. But I'm also very logical. I have an advanced vocabulary. I think things out. I plan things out. I see patterns everywhere. I'm very strategic. So I can kind of combine those things because when you think about it, you can't ever really be just cold, hard facts all the time. We're not machines. We're emotional beings. But a lot of people make the mistake of making only emotional judgments and not actually thinking this shit through enough. They use inductive reasoning, which is, emotional reasoning, personal experience, which is not a bad thing to use. We all have to use inductive reasoning to a certain extent. Excuse me, I'm going to light this cigarette. Just love cancer. Anyways, so yeah, where was I? Oh yeah, we kind of get sidetracked sometimes too, because we go down these rabbit holes of deep thought, and we kind of can lose the plot if we're not careful. It's something I struggle with all the time. But anyways, yeah. So being an INFJ, I've looked through my life. I've been in and out of therapy, in and out of psych wards and rehab centers, because I'm also a recovering drug addict and alcoholic. Looking back on my life, I can kind of understand why I had some of the problems I had, because I've always been incredibly psychological. Like, in school, people wanted to talk about, very mundane things from my perspective, and I always wanted to take it, to a deep level. Like, someone would mention a movie, and I would go into a tirade about all the inspirations for the movie, the hidden subliminal messages and stuff like that. And it was really also really good at making predictions. Like, we would watch a movie that I'd never seen before, and within the first 10 minutes, I'm, making guesses about how the movie's going to end. And I would be right, 99% of the time. And people would be like, fuck, man, you ruined the movie for me. You've seen this, haven't you? And I'm like, no, I haven't. This is my first time seeing it. I just understand how basic psychology works, and I understand how behavior works. And I can kind of understand from the first 10 minutes the message that the director is setting up, because it's obvious to me. It just makes sense. That's how my brain works. It breaks things down and reconstructs them and finds patterns between seemingly unconnected sources. And I'm not bragging by saying any of this. That's another thing about INFJs. We don't brag in the same sense that most people do. It's not about showing our superiority. It's because we love sharing things. We love sharing ideas and inspirations and experiences, me personally, I love the idea of being someone who can inspire someone else to overcome their problems through my own life experience. And I mean, really, who doesn't feel that way? If your own personal life experience can be used to help someone avoid all the shit you had to go through in life at an earlier age, wouldn't you also want to share those ideas? And, it's hard to balance out logic and emotion when it comes to not just myself, but other people. Sometimes I'll get deep into stuff, and I'll look at someone, and I'll talk to them, and I'll kind of point out their problems, and I'll kind of point out the patterns of behavior they have. Because once again, to me, it's obvious. I have lived so many different lifestyles, it's really easy for me to see things from pretty much any point of view there is. So I'll try to give advice, and I'll try to help someone, and they'll accuse me of being a braggart or a know-it-all or someone who's on a moral high horse. And it's like, no, I'm not on a moral high horse. I don't think I'm any better or worse than anybody. I don't think I'm necessarily more intelligent than anybody. My mind works in a certain way. Being a good, kind, compassionate person is something that's really important to me. Really important to me. Because for the longest time, I was taught that this world is cutthroat, and you have to do yours and get yours, and you have to look out for number one. And I tried living like that, and it made me fucking miserable. I hated it. I absolutely hated myself for living that way, because I wanted to be a good person. I didn't want to give in to the flow of society, and I didn't really want to conform. I'm a very nonconformist. I tend to go against the grain regardless of what the circumstances are. even if the vast majority of people are going to support something and they have every logical reason to do so, I'm the kind of guy who stands up. It's like, okay, well, let's also look at it from the opposing perspective, because it's important to look at this from both sides if we want to have an accurate estimate of the situation. And people don't like that because they consider that being disloyal. They think that I'm, like, if you've ever seen the movie 12 Angry Men or read the book, like, I'm that guy in the back who's constantly changing his mind. Like, constantly. Every bit of new evidence brought to light has me swinging back and forth between two opposing viewpoints. And people think that means I'm wishy-washy. And they actually, I've been accused of being a coward for that. It's like, no, I'm not. It's just, when there's new evidence that's brought to light that makes the situation seem different, I'm going to fucking take that into consideration. And if it seems that my previous viewpoint was wrong, I'm going to change my mind, because that's logical, that's reasonable, that's fair, that's what we're supposed to do. And people, like, think that I'm disloyal. Like some of my best friends, they'll get into a situation and they'll want my help, and I'm like, yeah, sure, I got your back. And then I'll enter the situation, and then opinions start flying from every direction, and all these unknown things that I was not properly informed about come to light, and I'm like, okay, well, maybe you are kind of the dickhead here. And they'll be like, what the fuck, you're supposed to have my back. I'm like, yeah, having your back doesn't mean feeding your horrible, like, impulses and feeding you a load of crap to make you feel better and justifying your shitty behavior if you're guilty of shitty behavior. Being a real friend means calling you on your bullshit in a respectful way if possible, trying to be tactful about it, and letting you know that, hey, man, like, nah, from all the evidence gathered, it seems like you're the one who made a mistake here. Like, that's, in my opinion, that's what a true friend does. A true friend tells the truth. They hold you accountable when you're wrong, and they prop you up when you're in the right. Like, that's just my opinion, you know? Like, I don't want friends who are gonna, like, stroke my ego and feed me a load of crap to get me to feel better, and then, like, 10 minutes later, I walk into I'm getting ready to walk into a room, and I hear a conversation, because I also have really great hearing, and it's really easy for me to, like, comprehend things that most people wouldn't, and I hear them talking shit on me, and I'm like, what the fuck, man? Well, now you've got me questioning everything. You've got me questioning myself. You've got me questioning the situation. You've got me questioning you. Like, now, I don't know if I'm in the wrong, or if, like, you're just a dickhead who's gonna kiss my ass in the moment and then turn your back on me in the first chance you get. So social situations are sometimes kind of hard to maneuver. Not because the truth isn't obvious, because it's not always obvious who's going to accept the truth and who even sees what the truth is, and that's why I hate crowds, you know? I'm a people person. I love people in, like, small doses. Like, I like to hang out with small numbers of people. Like, 4 or 5 is my comfort range, you know? I love one-on-one conversations, but even one-on-one conversations kind of get dull. Like, especially if the person isn't really on your level. And when I say on your level, I don't mean as intelligent. I mean that they're just in a different state of mind than you are. And they have different life experiences, and they just process information in a different way, so you guys can't really, like, see eye to eye. Like, they won't be able to comprehend the stuff you're talking about, and even if you can comprehend the stuff they're talking about, you're going to take it to a really deep level. While like, all my life, people have always said, like, dude, it's not that deep, you're overthinking it. I'm like, well, I disagree. Like, I just think you're underthinking it. And they're like, you saying I'm stupid? I'm like, no, I'm saying you're just not seeing what I'm seeing, and you're kind of missing out on a lot of rich information if you just, you know, delve a little bit deeper. Like, humankind always scratches the surface and never thinks to look within, you know, Age of Ultron. And that stuff always irritated me, because I'm like, guys, there's so much awesome shit you're missing out on, and it's right there for the fucking taking. All you have to do is look a little bit deeper, and no one would ever be interested in. And, you know, I was accused of being a know-it-all, a braggart, a nerd, you know, just all kinds of hurtful things that always struck me very deeply, because, you know, since I'm also very empathetic, and I love listening to people as well. Like, I love actually hearing people talk about serious shit. I hate mundane conversations. Like, I hate conversations where it's like, oh, hey, how's the weather? I'm like, I think it's great, but tell me from your perspective, how do you think the weather is? And they're like, I mean, it's nice, right? I'm like, yeah, obviously. I mean, sorry, why'd you even bring it up if you weren't going to have, like, a deep conversation about this? Dude, I was just trying to make small talk. Oh, okay. Well, you're kind of wasting my time then. That comes off, like, sometimes I can come off as being a dick. And that's not intentional. You know, I'm not trying to belittle people. I don't want to make people feel bad. Like, I hate it when I make people feel bad, especially unintentionally. Like when I try to do something nice and it has the opposite effect and makes someone feel bad, I feel immediately guilty for that. Because I'm like, fuck, I should have fucking took more time to analyze them. I should have got to know them a little bit better. Like, small talk does have a purpose. It's sort of like a way of feeling someone out that you're not very familiar with. And you kind of have to throw those little probes out there to see how they react to, like, just, like, the smallest basic level of communication. So I get why people do it. But, like, I don't like it. Like, it annoys me. It feels like a waste of time. And I'm like, man, if we're not about to fucking, like, talk about why tornadoes form and how the butterfly flapping on this side of the planet can make a twister on the other side, if we're not going to make this an interesting down the rabbit hole Alice in Wonderland fucking conversation, then sorry, I'm not really interested. You know, if you want to fill me out, just say, hey, bro, what you get into? Be direct with people like me. I love it when people are direct, because I'm like, all right, sweet, you're asking, like, concrete questions that I can actually answer definitively, and we get to know each other really quick. Like, I don't like wasting time. I don't like filling people out. I don't like having them fill me out. Look, I'm an open book. I got no shame in me. Not anymore. Like, I'm proud of who I am. I love who I am, and I love sharing myself with people. And I love it when people share themselves with me, because that's how you get deep, meaningful connections to people. That's how you make real friends and real brothers for life and real sisters for life and shit like that. Like, I don't want to waste my time with someone who's going to spend days and days and days just throwing out little probes, because I'm just like, look, man, I'll put myself out there whenever you want. I'll answer whatever questions you want. But if you're not going to do the same for me, then I just feel like I'm giving you a bunch of my weaknesses, and you're not reciprocating, which is fine. You know, if you are that afraid of being hurt, if you've been through a bunch of shit, I can totally understand why you would not want to let someone get to know the real you, because it's not always a smart thing. In fact, it's rarely a smart thing. If you're not careful with your crowd, you see it all the time. People share deep, meaningful connections, and then someone gets offended, and then they lash out and use everything they know about you against you, and then you're like, what the fuck, man? Like, I told you all this shit in like, I trusted you, and now you're punishing me for something I don't even understand. Like, that's another thing that really pisses me off. When someone gets upset with you, and you're like, okay, why are you upset? Like, where did I go wrong? Like, help me understand this. Educate me as to what your triggers are, as to why I offended you in the first place, how I offended you, because it was not intentional, and I don't understand, and I want to avoid making the same mistakes, so please explain it to me. And they'll be like, oh, you know what you did. I don't have to tell you shit. It's like, okay, well then fuck off, bitch. Like, right there. Like, no, if you're not going to communicate, if you're going to assert that I've done something, and then when I assert that it was not intentional and that I don't actually understand what I did because I think in a different way from you, and you're just going to throw it in my face, well then, you know what? That's your fucking problem. That's your fault. You're the one who got offended. You're the one with the trigger. You're the one with the problem. And now you're taking it out on me and projecting on me, and then you're denying me the tools I need to make amends and to avoid doing it again. So you're just putting me in a trap where now I have to walk on eggshells around you. I'm not going to fucking do that. I'm not going to change who I am for someone else, especially if they're not willing to actually put in the time and the effort to, you know, resolve the conflict on a deep level instead of just like, you know, taking a break and then being like, whatever, it's whatever. No, it's not whatever. That happened for a fucking reason. If you're not going to help me know you when I allow you to know me, then you're trying to hold all the cards and you're leaving me with nothing, and that's not an equal friendship. That's something a narcissist does. That's a control measure. That's like, oh, you can trust me, tell me all your secrets, but I'm not going to tell you jack shit, and then I'm going to, you know, I'm going to gaslight you and make you feel like it's your fault that I have emotional problems and that there's no way you could have possibly known this, but, you know, I'm just going to expect you to read my mind. And that happens a lot with me because I'm so good at reading people. So when I occasionally make a mistake and fuck up, like, I can kind of understand why sometimes people would be like, well, you have to know what you did because you always fucking know everything. And I'm like, well, no, I don't know everything. I know a lot. I have a lot of base knowledge that I can draw from, and I enjoy drawing from it, and I enjoy having a plethora of ideas in my head and a plethora of words I can use to accurately describe myself in situations and people. Like, I love having an advanced vocabulary. I love engaging in deep philosophical conversations. But I'm not fucking perfect. In fact, I'm far from it. Like, something that a lot of people don't realize is INFJs have a dark side, you know? We are so emotionally sensitive. We absorb emotions like a fucking sponge, and we absorb information like a sponge, too. We never, like, stop learning. We love to learn. I love to learn. I love reading books. I love watching YouTube videos about complex concepts. I love psychology. I love philosophy. I even kind of like economics and government and law and stuff like that because they intrigue me. It's all just part of the human condition. And I love learning more about humanity because I love learning more about myself. And I love learning more about my fellow men. And I love becoming more effective at life. But there's a dark side to that, you know? I have a threshold. I have a certain level of pain tolerance I'm willing to put up with. And if someone repeatedly hurts me, repeatedly stabs me in the back, repeatedly ghosts me, and just shows a lack of interest in me compared to what I'm showing in them, then I'm going to either just ghost you, slam the door, or if conflict happens, like, conflict is something that's really difficult for IFNFJs to deal with. I know me, personally. Like, I hate conflict. I can deal with it to a certain level, but I try to avoid it like the plague if it's possible. And I'm a firm believer that everything can be talked out as long as all parties involved are actually going to put forward the effort to talk it out and not be a bunch of manipulative assholes, which is rarely the case. So, you know, where was I anyways? So basically, when I enter a situation where I feel like people aren't really trying to communicate, because you can kind of tell really quickly, like if people are being overly aggressive, if they're making assertions but not actually explaining the evidence behind those assertions, if they're listening to what you're saying but repeating the same things over and over again, it's like, well, we already covered that. Like, I already gave you an explanation for that, so why are you bringing it back up again? It gets to, you can quickly determine whether or not someone believes you, or is actually listening to you, or is actually being honest. Like, patterns repeat. Like, if you just know how to pay attention to this shit, you can tell really quickly if someone's a liar, if someone's a narcissist, if someone has trust issues. Like, you can, it's not that hard. Like, we're complex creatures, but we're all similar enough that we have the same basic patterns of behavior intrinsically woven into us. And we have the same basic emotional responses to things. Like, when things hurt us, we fucking try to fight it, or we try to run from it, or we try to hide from it. Like, and when things make us happy, we try to chase it, we try to hold on to it, we try to replicate it. It's basic. It's basic. We like shit that feels good, and we hate shit that hurts. So, it's basic cause and effect. And when you understand shit on the basic level, and you understand all behavior serves a purpose, and that no one just lashes out for no fucking reason, there's always some sort of underlying motivator behind it, even if they're not even consciously aware of it, because like so many people aren't really consciously aware of where their real problems stem from. Then, you know, it's not hard to figure people out. You just have to be brave enough to be honest and patient and articulate. You have to try to be specific. Don't fucking say vague shit. Because vague shit is open to interpretation, and when you leave things open to interpretation, you kind of set yourself up for failure, because now everyone is going to assume a different thing. Or they're all going to assume one thing, and it might not be accurate at all. You have to fucking make an effort. Like, that's why people also accuse me of over-explaining things. I'm like, well, you might think I'm over-explaining things, but I want you to understand exactly where I'm coming from. Like, I don't want us to have this conversation and then later hear you talking shit because you honestly got a misrepresentation of what I was saying, and your impression of me is not accurate at all. Like, I hate misunderstandings, man. Misunderstandings are the source of, like, all the fucking world's problems. A lack of understanding. Ignorance. Ignorance breeds chaos, and knowledge breeds order. So I like to make sure that the people I talk to are fully informed. It's not that I just like to hear myself talk. It's not that I don't. I mean, I do kind of like it, but that's not the main motivator, you know? I just want to make sure there's no room for misinterpretations. Like, I want to make sure that I'm understood on a deep level because it's important, you know? I want to be seen. And isn't that true for all of us? Like, don't we all want to be seen for our truest selves and accepted for those people that we really are? Don't we want to have deep, meaningful connections? Isn't that the whole fucking point of being alive? Being alone sucks. It really does. At least when you're forced to be. And that's another thing about INFJs. You know, we're simultaneously extroverted and introverted. Like, our main state of being is introversion. It's not that we don't want connections. It's that we're sensitive. Really sensitive. Like, I'm a highly sensitive person. Emotions affect me very deeply. And the more people you're exposed to, the more emotions are sort of forced into me. And it gets exhausting. Like, I like my alone time. I like my time to self-reflect and to kind of go into my own little world and create things in my imagination and think about things and role play situations and simulate potential events, both good and negative. Bad events so that I'm prepared for them if they ever happen in reality, and good events because I have a hope for what the world can be and what I can bring to the world, and I want to be prepared for those moments, you know? Like, when negativity strikes, I want to be able to handle it as calmly and maturely as possible. Oh, shit, it went out. No, it didn't. And, you know, when those good moments strike, where I might actually be able to have a positive effect on the world, or achieve some measure of success, you know, I want to be prepared for those moments so that I don't let them slip by, so that I don't miss them, so that I don't waste them. So I'm constantly going 100 miles an hour in my mind, creating ideas, creating events, creating, you know, social interactions, so I'm always prepared for them. That's one of the reasons why I come off as so insightful sometimes. At least I've been told that I come off as insightful. Like, I'm not just coming up with the shit on my own. Like, because I've already experienced those things. Like Littlefinger from Game of Thrones, when he's talking to Sansa, and he's like, don't just fight in the north or the south, fight in the north and the south. Everyone's your enemy. Everyone's your friend. Every single possible series of events is happening simultaneously. Live that way, and everything that happens will be something you've already seen. Well, I took that to heart. That's how I live. And yeah, it can be sort of, you know, mentally draining and emotionally exhausting, but it's also very, very rewarding. It's very gratifying. Like, there is a sort of pleasure I gain from seeing events turn out the way I predicted they would turn out, even if they're bad, because then I'm sitting there and I'm like, got it! And I can piss off people too. But, you know, if someone that you know is smart and who's good at seeing patterns and is usually right about things tells you, hey, you're about to make a mistake and it's not going to end well for you, and you do it anyways, then you kind of deserve to have someone say, ha, called it, Drew. Maybe you'll listen to me next time. And I've been, like, that's another one of my, like, deep sources of trauma. Like, I have tried my whole life to be as straightforward, direct, and honest and tactful as I possibly can. I understand. Sometimes it's not what you say, it's the way you say it. And I always make an effort to put things in the most polite way possible. And I also make a habit of trying to gratify someone's point of view, even if I feel like they're in the wrong, because they still have that point of view for a good reason. Even if the view is wrong, the process they used to get there isn't necessarily wrong, you know? It's fair. So I try to, like, make sure people understand it's like, hey, your point of view is perfectly reasonable to have. Even if I don't agree with it, you have your reasons, and therefore I respect that. So let's have a conversation. Let's see what your viewpoint really is on the deepest level, and let me share mine so you can see where I'm coming from. And let's see if we can either, you know, come to an agreement or at least leave the conversation with a mutual respect for each other, even though we don't agree, and we don't have to fucking hate each other for it. So I've always been a negotiator. I've always been like the family counselor. I'm always the person who's trying to keep things calm and get things talked out and get things resolved. And, you know, sometimes I'm successful and sometimes I'm not. Sometimes they're just people who you can't really communicate with. You know, they're either so traumatized and so hurt that they just cannot bring themselves to trust other people or themselves. Sometimes they're just so full of anger that everything sets them off, and everything is a trigger because they're just in horrible mental anguish and they don't even know it, and they come off as total dicks. And, you know, that's not the case, man. We all have a reason for our behavior, so I try not to judge. I try to be patient. But like I was saying earlier, I have a breaking point. I do have a breaking point. It gets to a point where the pain becomes so severe and I become so disillusioned with someone else's behavior where it's like, you know what? I don't care if you have your reasons, because I have my reasons too. And I'm still making an effort to be a good person and not hurt you, and you're lashing out at me over and over and over again. And this isn't necessarily a form of revenge. There might be a little pettiness to it. There might be a little bit of sick pleasure I take from dismantling someone when they've hurt me over and over again. But that's not the main point. The point is to show them what they're doing to me. It's to give them an example. It's like, this is what you do to me every time. Like, first you tear them apart because it's easy to see through the bullshit, because angry people are narrow-minded and they have a very simple way of working things out in their mind. So they're not hard to understand. They're not hard to predict. Same with frightened people. Really, anyone who's overcome with negative emotion is going to have, like, a very, very simple one-track mind, save for people who are suffering from severe depression. Like, that's like the one negative emotion where it can go as deep as the ocean. So, yeah. So depressed people are a little different. They're harder to figure out, and it's a lot more dangerous to try to interact with them with a lack of knowledge, because you'd be surprised what kind of things can push someone over the edge when they're in a deep, deep depression. I know. I've lived with suicide my whole life. I've tried to kill myself on multiple occasions. I lost my dad to suicide. My brother's ex-girlfriend committed suicide in front of him in the house with me, and I had to, like, open the door and find my brother cradling her body in his arms, screaming, like, oh my God, I'm going to fix this, I'm going to fix this. Like, fuck, I don't even know if I should be talking about that. That's not my business. That's his business. I'll probably delete this from the video, but yeah, like, depression and anxiety and anger and fear have been a part of my life ever since I can remember. So it's not that I don't have empathy for people who have those kind of problems and act out despite themselves, but there's a limit. There's a limit. I'm not a doormat. I'm not someone who's just going to sit there and take shit, you know, from someone with impunity, because I'm not a fucking pussy. I'm not a coward. I'm just a compassionate human being, and there are limits. Like, if I feel like someone's taking advantage of me, I'm going to tell them. It's like, dude, you're taking advantage of me, and I'm not going to be standing for that anymore. And people always seem to underestimate me because I'm so quick to run away from conflict and to try to prevent emotional outbursts like that, that when I snap, they're shocked. Like, it scares the shit out of them, because I'm like, yeah, you thought I didn't have a fucking demon in me? Like, I have a demon too, dude. I've been through a lot of shit. I can fucking dismantle you just as easily as I can build you up, because I can see through you. You're not complicated. You're not hard to understand, because I've been where you are. I've been you. I know exactly how you're thinking about this shit. I know exactly what's going through your mind. I know exactly what you're feeling. And people will try to buck up and be like, you don't scare me. And I'm like, okay, why are you so pissed off then? I'm like, because you're a little bitch. I'm like, no, it's because I scare you. Anger is a secondary emotion. You don't feel anger unless you first feel fear or anxiety or sadness or pain. Like, anger is used to cover those things up and turn them into power so you can act despite your negative feelings. So if I'm angering you, it's because I scare you. Or something about me reminds you of something you don't like in yourself and you're projecting it on me. Either way, I've got you. Like, once someone becomes emotionally unhinged around me, it's like, yeah, no, like, you're now my little bitch. Like, I've got control of you completely. Because I can remain calm, and I can sit there and articulate my thoughts and read their minds. Not literally, but I mean, it's sort of like a combination of psychology and mentalism. Like, if I know even the most basic things about them, I'm going to be able to make assumptions that are going to be not necessarily 100% accurate, but close enough that when I talk about them, it's going to hit home emotionally. It's going to freak them out. I've done that before. I've lost my patience, and I have mentally fucked some people in my life that were really good friends of mine, and I feel regret for doing that. But yeah, anyways, it's the time on this video now. Ooh, 27 minutes and 50 seconds. I think that's enough for now. I'm just kind of going on a self-tirade because I'm still figuring out what to talk about and how to process these thoughts and emotions and get them out in a neat, orderly fashion on YouTube. This is sort of like an experimental phase. I'm still just kind of messing around, seeing the reaction, seeing, watching my own videos, seeing how I look from a different point of view once I've kind of gotten a little bit of time and distance away from the videos I'm making. So this is all just still an experimental phase. And I'm just kind of seeing what people's reactions are. I'm going to look at the criticism, see where I can improve. Some people told me that I kind of come off as really high-strung. Yeah, that's true. I'm definitely a manic person. I've got ADHD, OCD, borderline personality disorder. Manic depressive is basically ADHD, just another different word. But so yeah, a little bit wacky in the head, and I'm fine with that. But anyways, thank you so much for those of you who actually watched this video and actually watched it all the way through. Like, I really appreciate that. And, leave some comments in the comment section. Give me some advice. If you feel like I'm doing good, let me know I'm doing good. And if you feel like there are things I can improve on, please, tell me what those things are so I can analyze that from different perspectives and provide better content. Because right now I'm just using my phone. Like, I understand my content is kind of shit right now, but I'm just starting off. It's okay. And, if you're one of those kinds of people who just wants to be a troll and lash out and be a total dickhead, that's totally fine too. You're more than welcome to read those comments because, I kind of need those comments as well. I need to practice not letting shitty negative opinions bring me down because I've valued myself based on other people's opinions my whole fucking life, and I'm trying not to do that. So if you lash out and try to hurt me just because it's fun to you, that's also going to help me a little bit. So, yeah, you're more than welcome to. Shit talk all you want. Anyways, thank you guys. Have a lovely day, and, yeah.